All right, this morning, global markets are reacting to President Donald Trump's latest round of tariff threats. He sent more letters to countries urging them to make deals with the United States by August 1st. Joining us now is NBC Washington correspondent Alice Barr. And Alice, the latest country hit by these tariffs is Brazil. How hefty are these tariffs, and why is he launching them now?
Yeah, this is a 50% tariff on Brazil specifically. There were 8 countries that he sent these letters to yesterday announcing their new tariffs, from 20% on the Philippines up to 50% on Brazil. That's by far the heftiest of them. And President Trump acknowledged that politics were part of his reasoning here because of this ongoing trial of the former Brazilian president, Jair Bolsonaro. And President Trump called the trial a witch hunt that he said should end immediately. The basis of this trial is that Jair Bolsonaro is accused of attempting to hold on to power after losing Brazil's 2022 election. He's accused of being a part of a coup to try to stay in power. And President Trump has drawn parallels in the past to his own criminal charges. After losing the 2020 election, those charges, of course, were dropped when he then won the election in November. But yeah, he's explicitly saying that that is part of the reason, along with saying that there's a trade deficit between Brazil and the U.S., though, in fact, the U.S. Trade Representative says it was actually a surplus in favor of the U.S. Last year. Brazil's current president said that the country will not accept being abused and will respond to the tariffs with reciprocity. So we could be in for another trade war there with what is the 10th biggest trading partner for the U.S. in Brazil.
Yeah, all this tariff talk and turmoil seems to have people a bit skeptical. You have a new poll that seems to reflect that?
Yeah, there's a new poll from The Economist and YouGov finding that 72% of Americans surveyed think tariffs will increase the price that they pay on a variety of products, and a smaller percentage, some 20%, say that they're already adjusting their spending habits, their buying habits in preparation for what people have been anticipating for quite some time could be a spike in prices. And August 1st is when these new tariffs for Brazil and for all the other countries that the president is sending these letters to are set to take effect August 1st now. So there was a 3-month delay in what were these super widespread, massive tariffs back in April. And a lot of consumers have kind of either put it out of their minds or maybe been holding their breath to see, you know, what was the final result going to be? What's the impact really going to be when companies here in the U.S. have to pay these import taxes for whatever, you know, they need to bring in from other countries, whatever supplies and materials, and then how that might be passed along to consumers. And now we know we're, you know, less than a month away from seeing that, what that impact will wind up being.
Yeah. Finally, Alice, President Trump promised 90 trade deals in 90 days. Now it seems like the top Senate Democrat is slamming him for not delivering on that pledge. President Trump's goods from Brazil at 50%, as you stated, cite a witch hunt trial against the former country's president.
Right. So that is on the Brazil tariffs that have now been announced to go into effect August 1st. And Chuck Schumer, the top Democrat in the Senate, he has been criticizing President Trump, along with, of course, a number of critics, for the way that this has gone about because of the fact that it's sort of negotiation via letter now, that whether it's Brazil, whether it's the Philippines, anybody has just been getting these letters saying this is the tariff now, unless you quickly come up with a way for us to mitigate this and make it lower. And so Chuck Schumer accused President Trump of kicking the can down the road. He says he talks a big game, but then shows little follow through or strategic understanding, is how he put it. President Trump has been asserting that setting tariffs by letter here is a more efficient means of dealing with dozens of countries, and he says it is still a deal and a more powerful way to handle this, he believes. Chesley.
All right. Alice Barr, thanks so much for joining us. Thanks for your insight.